exercises at West Point's basic training. New cadets must rappel down a 25-foot cliff face.
Lean back. We're good.
Then a 75-foot wall.
See what's coming up?
Oh, hell.
Jump.
Hell yeah!
The United States Military Academy in West Point, New York, is the #1 military academy in the U.S., where 120,000 of the nation's top students and soldiers apply each year. Only 10% get in, and new cadet Jabril Williams is one of them.
I'm excited. I'm going to attack it with as much enthusiasm and intensity as I can.
But before the start of school, Williams and his fellow cadets must complete the 6-week basic training program, the beginning of the 47-month journey that creates the next generation of leaders for the U.S. Army. Cadet Basic Training, or CBT, begins immediately after R Day. R Day, or Reception Day, is the day when students first report to West Point and get assigned to the company they'll train in.
Attention!
The class is divided into 9 companies, each competing to earn the most points and be awarded the title of Best Company at the end of basic training.
Congratulations, new cadet! You are now part of Alpha Company, the best company in Cadet Basic Training Regiment.
During CBT, upperclassmen serve as the leaders.
Go there when already like 1,000 people might have been there already. Yeah, so we are able.
Welcome to Amber Defense Briefing. Today, the 21st of 2023. I hope my image is clear. Today, the panel is full as usual. We have the regular panelists on board. I don't know. Is my image okay? Yeah, I guess. I don't know how to increase my lightning. I'm trying to put all lights that but I don't know. Yeah, I try to adjust that. And I just hope we manage this one. Yeah, the panelist is for ABC Amber Television. Today, Saturday, the 21st. Thank you. The 21st of, I hope the 21st of January 2023. You are yet welcome to another edition of the Interim Government Defense. I am your humble host, Paul Nilong, and this very special program briefing is coordinated by Mayor Kari and our SOS for Defense, Dr. Nzama. Today, the panel is full as usual. We have SOS now, we have Fombard, and we have Commander Kenneth, Commander Fombard. And in the studio, we have Pastor Commando and Papa Oben, who are in the department, in the console. Please, we thank you all for the wonderful work. And to our tellers all over the world, we say thank you for your love, for your support. We see how the program is gaining ground. We see the revival of the program through you, through the comments you send, through the interventions you make on WhatsApp. Please, we are very, very grateful. We acknowledge all this. So, fellow Ambazonians, we'll be going straight because we are a little bit late. We'll be going straight to our host, inviting the panelists for today, your usual panelists, giving you every detail. Today is very, very important because we have technical aspects of this revolution that we are going to touch. Not only the action on the ground, but certain events that have happened within the week. So you are all welcome. We begin with our SOS. You are welcome on board.
Thank you.
Yes, can you get me?
Yes, I can get you clearly. Can you hear me?
The mic is yours.
Thank you for this show again. We are here to give knowledge and information to our citizens in Ambazonia and to our forces on the ground. Thank you once more for extending invitation to me to this program. And I want to thank our viewers who are all over the world and thank our soldiers who are defending home front.
We take another direction today. We go to Commander Fombard, our defense analyst. Commander Fombard, you are welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
5 on 5.
Thank you very much, and fellow Ambazonians, wonderful people on the panel. We expect that today we keep doing better and better. Today will be even more better than we did last time. So thank you. We expect that everyone should be seated, be comfortable, and we bring to you nothing but the truth and the reality on the state of our revolution or our struggle with regards to the home front. Thank you very much.
Commander Kenneth, you have the mic. Thank you, Commander Fombard.
Yeah, thank you, Comrade Paul. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may find yourself. Fellow panelists, I greet you all. And my greetings as well to our ARFs, our civilian population. And we thank you for tuning in for this program today. We are here once more for the Saturday defense briefing. And we expect you all to stay tuned and listen to us as we bring to you the events of the week. Thank you once more.
Yes, thank you very much. Please, in the diaspora, share button on home front, you hit the share button. Anywhere you are watching ABC at this moment, please hit the share button. It's one of the most important program on air. One of the most important. All the programs are important, but this one has a very special value because it updates you on all defense action that has been going on in ground zero for the past week. It also brings down certain defense analysis on settings which are political. To bring them down today, we'll begin with on home front for the week. We got Commander Kennedy will be handling that aspect. Also have next on the list, we have the elections declared by a foreign president on our people and what have been the consequences since that election announcement. We are going to talk about that. We are going to also talk about, we saw a communique from La Republic that 100 and something, which is about 1,000 desertees of their military. Commander Fombard will be handling that. And the most crucial aspect, the most crucial topic tonight will be the revelation from the Canada Foreign Ministry, which our SOS is going to break it down. What the Canada Foreign Ministry said, what they wrote. We also got the response of one of these enabler, one of these proxies who was in Canada trying to claim ignorance. Now, our SOS is going to highlight that. So, please, touch the share button. It is very important because if you are not educated, please, I don't know how to describe you. I'm not up to date on certain aspect of the revolution. It causes a big problem. It retards our people on home front. Please set your satellite. Get the ABC TV network on your television. It is very important. So for the past week, the ground has been hot. 2023. Okay, we also got an answer like Barrister Tuma Sang acknowledging. We are going to get a photo shot of the comment he made on Facebook on acknowledging the impact of the interim government under Dr. Samuel Komesako on the actions in home front. So please, we are going straight to Commander Kenneth. Please, how has the week been on home front? Can you tell us something? Can you tell the Ambazonia people? We begin with that.
Yeah, thank you, Comrade Paul. To begin with, I will want to let our audience know that this war will continue until we get what we want, no matter what. The war will continue. The firepower on the ground will continue. We'll make sure that we increase the firepower on the ground. Now, it's not only from the fighters, but our people are also determined. That we should get the freedom that we seek, we all yearn for. I mean, when I talk about our people, I mean our civilian population. They said even if it means fighting all the way to Boya, and no matter how long it takes, they're willing to sacrifice, give their time, give all it takes for us to get to Boya. I remember talking to a friend sometime that was in the Southern Zone, that was in December. And this friend some sort of asked me a question. He said, places are very calm on the home front these days. And it's been a while that he had gunshots around and so on. And the friend was not happy with the fact that the colonialists, their military, their governors, their DOs, they're moving around, parading around as if they own the place. They were not happy. They said it was as if things were going back to normal. And the words were, we desperately need our freedom. Those were the words of the friend. Well, my words to that particular individual was, this is just the calm before the storm. That was what I said. This was just the calm before the storm. That was in December. Where are we today? Here we are in January. And we can categorically say here that this has been one of the deadliest months for the terrorist La Republic regime or their military. We are bleeding them like never before. We are not allowing any stone unturned. We want to make sure that we follow them into wherever they are hiding. Like the case of what happened in Manfe. And let me say, it wouldn't end this month. That would not end this month. We'll make sure we continue with that. We had taken off some time in the midst of all the confusion we had last year to do some capacity building. And today we are seeing the fruits of the capacity building. We are seeing the results. We are getting the results on the field. And we are promising our people that our fighters and their government, this interim government, will do whatever it takes to meet their aspirations. They will do whatever it takes to meet their aspiration. It may suffice for me to say that the enemy did replace their top general and did everything possible in their means to cut off our supply chains. They did try to use some of their proxies to confuse some of our fighters.
I always advise my
and some of that was the case, like what we had with the Unity Warriors. But this government is laser focused, and they have refused to be derailed. They have one thing on their agenda, and that is making sure getting us to Buea. All of us, each and every Ambazonian.
Only in your agency panel.
Let me just talk a little bit on the issue of this issue of the warriors, the warriors. I mean the Unity Warriors. We know the fighters that were being deceived by some people. There are some of them that were being deceived by some people in Kondengi. Some of their proxies that were abroad. Some of these fighters had come to the realization that their only hope of fighting and reclaiming our freedom or our motherland is with this interim government. They've come to that realization. And we found some of them are now abandoning ship. They have realized that they were tricked into forming whatever they did there. And they are coming back to meet the ranks of their brothers, those that were truly fighting for the freedom. And right now, what we are seeing is fighters moving from camps that were previously under the so-called Unity Warriors, and they're coming back, most of them. Maybe there may be some that are still left behind, but as they wake up and they come to their senses, we believe that all will be well. And proof of this, as just what you said, Comrade Paul, is what Thomas Sang said. You know, this had been a guy that all along had never sat down and accepted that, you know, he had been like, fighters belong here and they belong there. His story has never been straightforward. But he came along this time admitting that most of the fighters belong to the interim government led by His Excellency Dr. Samuel Sako. Well, not to take so much of your time, let me just go down to, you know, most of the action that we had on the home front last week. Basically, we had two of them. There was one that took place in Ndonga Mantum, and this was led by the Supreme General Nye. The ARS in Dongamantum, they laid an IED, which was detonated with precision. That was detonated with precision. And it was right on target. I mean, the technicality was pretty accurate, what they put into that particular action. And we saw the enemy bleed. Many of them were sent back in body bags. Let me repeat, a lot of them were sent back in body bags. For those that saw the videos, you have no doubt that nearly no one survived in that truck. So we want to doff our hats, 21 gun salutes to Supreme General Nye and his squad. And we are telling them that they should continue the good work. Ambazonia and this interim government, we are behind you. And we hope to see more action in the days ahead from those camps and the others. Now, to go to the icing on the cake, there was another attack at Satum. This one was actually coordinated. It was a coordinated attack that took place between the forces of Manu and Akwaya, the ARFs of Manu and Akwaya. So they jointly attacked the Satum, what they call the Satum Bridge. There is a La Republic military brigade at that bridge. And these boys came in their numbers. They went directly into that camp. They attacked the camp and they did away with a lot of materials. The videos were online. I wouldn't say precisely which of the generals or which of them that led that particular contingent of our boys. But what it suffices for us to know is that the fighting was fierce. La Republic the enemy did sustain a lot of injuries, and a lot of them were carried back in their bags. A lot of them were carried back to Akolondinga, let me just put it that way. And some of them are at the hospital. And with regards to our boys, it was rather unfortunate that we lost a brave fighter, but the rest of them retreated peacefully back to their various camps. And with that, I think I'm done with the action on the ground for last week. Thank you, Comrade Paul.
Yeah, I think we also had action from Boyo. I don't know if people are aware of the Boyo action. We also had an action from Boyo last week. The videos will be coming up. Yeah, what of the commander, of the general who led that contingent?
Excuse me. That was Boyo. That was Boyo, Comrade Paul.
It is the policy of the interim government that will not be releasing the name of the general who leads any attack. An attack in Manfe, Satun, Mini Barak was carried out by a joint contingent of the ARFs of Manu. They hit. Up to today, La Republic, they are still hiding their casualties. A great harvest was made, and it is final. In Boyo, there was serious action, which we are going to see. Our technicians, please, can you help us with these two videos so that we get them, and then we call on SOS Zaman to make analysis on them before we move to the next. Homefront was on fire. Homefront was on fire. So I don't know if these videos are on. Please, can we have them before we proceed? We will just have the two videos at once, that of Manfe and that of Boyo. In Boyo, it was led by Supreme General Nye. In Manfe, it was a joint contingent. Okay. Yes, as you can see, this is the Manfe. This is the Manfe video. Our joint force attacked this. It's a mini barrack. They thought it was Saturn. No, it was not Saturn. They hide behind most of these companies in the name of construction companies. Why they build barracks? And from there, they attacked our restoration forces. So when we got this intelligence that there was good materials inside this Saturn building, our boys, after a few more days of planning, went into it and did this marvelous damage. Now they are hiding. We only got they have only sent the identity of one soldier. But please, I want to assure you, fellow Amazonians, that more than 6 La Republic terrorists went down in this attack. More than 6. So our brave warriors, they all retreat. They went back to their camp. Just one fighter was touched. All the others retreated safely to our camp. The harvest was wonderful. So please, Manfe and its environ, know that they can attack anywhere, anytime, anywhere, any place. So if you are a black like in Manfe, be careful. The Republic military, we are just telling you, retreat, or you desert, or you we also have our DDR. Can get directly to me and I'll tell you where to handle your material. Now we are in Boyo under General Nia. This wonderful action. The Republic has not, up to now, they have not revealed the casualties. That is their new technique. And then tomorrow they will come out and they will write that, oh, these soldiers have deserted. No, this is where they are buried. It was on target. Directly on target. Bululand is crying. Terrorist military, they are crying. We are bleeding them. So, fellow Amazonians, this is the last week. We'll have some other actions within the week, which we are going to make analysis, we'll analyze, and we'll talk on. So, this is a direct, the interim government led by His Excellency Dr. Sako is not sleeping, just like what Commander Kenneth said. We took off time for some capacity building, and these are the results. It will be no stop till we get to Boya. Thank you very much, our technical team. We are back. SOS Zama, please, can you make a statement on the actions of the week? You are the boss.
Well, I doff my hat to the soldiers on the ground who are defending home front. We just want to tell the enemy that there's no place to hide. They've stepped their foot in what we have in Bamenda they call Ankara. Is the farm, those ridges that we put fire under and farm them. They've stepped into that Ankara and their feet will be burned. They will be burnt and burnt and burnt again. So far as they are in Ambazonia, we've asked for them to leave and they haven't made that concerted efforts to leave. Our soldiers are out there duly to protect our citizens. Any day that these barbarians are taken out, that's a peaceful night for our citizens. I really want to give my hat and doff my hat to all our soldiers, all the citizens who are supporting this fight, all the Ambazonians in the diaspora and home front who are supporting this fight financially, emotionally, and doing other sacrifices for our soldiers and families to be at peace at night. Regarding all the activities that are going on, it's it's something that's been planned all this while. We were a little bit disintegrated in the last part of 2022. Ambazonia and the Ambazonian Restoration Forces are all coming back in line, and all will be shooting at all 6 or 8 cylinders. The enemy, we said, will either go by their own volition or they'll go in the back. And we are asking all new conscripts who are coming into Amazonia to understand that they have to bring their own body bags, or otherwise there will be fertilizers in the bushes because they'll be blown to pieces. We've tried not to do this, but we do not enjoy killing people. That is not the goal. We never intended to have this war. I'll repeat this, and I'll repeat this over several times, because it seems like they are tend to believing, treating us like we were some barbarians. We were not. We've always had a force of argument, not the argument of words. Our soldiers will keep watch on all these areas. The other part of the countries are gonna come into stream, and the enemy is gonna understand. The enemy is gonna understand that we have a resolve. We will not relent, and they will go back or they will go in the back. It's their choice. They'll have to make that choice. We are really putting a dent into their army. The Cameroon government will be busy telling lies. For those who cannot be picked up because their body parts have been blown into pieces, they basically say they've disappeared, or they've gone AWOL, they've deserted the war. No, these people are literally dead. And knowing what Cameroon is, they don't want to pay indemnification for all these dead soldiers. They will have to pay for their families for war hazards and all or not. But knowing what they are, they're always thinking forward, how to cheat people. And they will even cheat their own honorable people they send to go fight on their behalf. We are asking all Cameroon soldiers who want to desert, who genuinely want to desert, drop your arms somewhere where we will pick it up, and you'll be provided safe passage. Trying to have a liberal Amazonia will also give breathing space for you in East Cameroon and La République du Cameroon to gain some independence, because it seems like you've still been slavishly impoverished by the people of your government. Liberty is liberty for all. We would not like to have a liberty for Amazonia and have our people or our neighbors in the east be enslaved. So in case any soldier wants to desert, please call us. We have a number that's available in channels that you have. You could give us those weapons, and we'll help to get your country back in order too, while we get our own. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted without even knowing. Thank you, Dr. Paoben. Yes, we are moving straight to our next phase, which is anarchism and the senatorial election imposed on us. I'm going to make a small statement on that then. Commander Fombard will touch it. Now, there's this guy who is a Bameleke guy from Atimbunda. He has been a thorn in the flesh. He has defied Ghost Town. At one point, they even said he seized a gun from the hand of a restoration force and gave it to the military. So last week, he was quietly asked, he was peacefully asked to follow the restoration forces for questioning. He stubbornly wanted to fight. He attacked a law-abiding restoration force who merely summoned him for questioning. He thought he was managed. What? And you know what happened next. Now, La République, and also part of the actions on and we got information that the election officials for Jakiri and one other zone were put down out of stubbornness. Please, the heartless La République government, without even sending a single word of condolence to the families, what they did was to immediately replace them. Immediately, within 24 hours, to tell you that your life don't matter. All you black legs, look at this young, vibrant young man. You come into our land, we welcome you, and you fight again. How has it ended with him? He sells drink, he sells all brand of Brasseries product that has been banned in Amazonia. Where is he today? Fellow Ambazonians, working as proxies of La République in Amazonia, there is no senatorial election. Those who have been appointed, you were not appointed with any security. You were not appointed with any guarantee of working in security in Amazonia, because you are working as a foreigner in our land, unauthorized. So I am advising all Ambazonians, all Ambazonian citizens on home front, please do not take any appointment from La République, because it does not come with any safety. It does not come with any security, because it is not legal. It is not legal. So this is what happened. This is what happened within the week. I don't know, Commander Fombard, before you go into the desertees, I don't know if you can statement on this black leg issue and the whatsoever, the senatorial crap announced by La République. Do you have any comment to make before we enter desertees?
I will only make one comment. A stubborn grasshopper. You know where a stubborn grasshopper ends. They say in our normal pidgin language, say, far away, know the year shh, the year na bam. They say, na only fly, they follow corpse, they go for grave. That is, now the any man with the year with you talk, you go understand clearly what I mean. These senators, why they call colonial handlers, propagating or promoting La République agenda in our land. All these parliamentarians, DUs, SDUs, councillors, tax collectors, anything we get for do anything we resemble. If it resemble La République, it is La République. If it sounds like La République, it is La République. Because on ground, at the home front now, there are no instruments such that our people will be involved in any positions at the home front. There are no instruments regarding the collection of taxes or tickets anywhere. Those who have rights for any collections are the Ambazonian Restoration Forces, because they need your support to prosecute the struggle. These people parading themselves in the name of senators. You, La Republique, is simply putting you at loggerhead with your own people. And the only thing that will happen as a result is they will hashtag you. It will be hashtag. They will put you on social media and they say, why they say rest in peace or rest in pieces or rest in whatsoever. That is after that you are forgotten, your page is changed, and that is it. La Republique will move on with their agenda. You moving around, make any propaganda, you are number one target. Let it be known. So we go now to the desertees. You know, Bob Marley, I don't know if this musician said Bob Marley, he said, many more will have to suffer. Many more will have to die. Don't ask me why. Ask Bivondo, the colonial terrorist. So we call him Paul Biya. Ask him why any more of his ill-trained, untrained of security and defense of why they keep dying. And the only thing they can do is tag some of them and say, oh, they are desertees. When you hear IED on an armor car in a military truck, some of those soldiers go in pieces and their corpses are not recognized. They cannot recover. And what happened is they dig one shallow hole somewhere just around that area and dump the pieces in there. And then in order to silence the agitating family who will be requested or demanding the whereabouts of their sons or daughters, is just to put on the list and say desertees. That is the colonial mentality. They are scared to say this soldier was, this terrorists, those are not even soldiers, these terrorists were involved in a fatal IED detonation somewhere in Bui, somewhere in Kokutunja, somewhere in Kupe Maninguba, somewhere in Manu, somewhere in Lebialem, somewhere in Fako, somewhere in Momo, everywhere in Ambazonia is a dangerous zone for you. It is not doubt that some of them, a few of them are actually among the desertees. I mean, the real desertees. We know them. They are everywhere. Those who have run to Canada, those who are in the US now, some are even in ground one, some are everywhere, some are even hiding somewhere that you cannot even identify or know them. There are actually some of them, but the majority of those you see on this list are among the victims. Some of those ones that are not counted among the actual number of terrorists that have been killed by the ARFs in Ambazonia. They are not listed there. So what happened, in order to camouflage, silence the families of these victims, they will put them on this list and include them among the desertees. That is what La Republique is after. This simply tells you that this is a banana republic. They don't respect your life. To these francophones, who call them francophones, that once your daughter or your son disappears, or you cannot give an account, you go and listen to people you know will twist the reality of the story and silence you. The thing is, if you want to agitate, they look for small money, 500,000, 200,000, and just give maybe the father or the mother. They go on street, they are drinking, they are dancing, they forget about their loved ones. That is the francophone culture and mentality. That is what they are after is what goes into their bellies. They don't care about even their own children. It's a fact, because I have lived in some of those localities, some of those areas, and I know those people, and I know them, and they know that I know them. It's a shame. So, Comrade Paul, I think I will give you back the microphone from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Platform. But we really need to talk about this desertees. Now, if you look at that list, Commander Kenneth, if you look at that list, you will see that they are trying to just manipulate people. I've tried to see two things. If you look at the list, the date of desertion, you will get 2000, you will get 2011, 2014. Why make a list of desertee from 2011, from the year 2000, just because you want to blend it with the catastrophe of 2017 till 2022? You see the manipulation. That's the one aspect. The second aspect on this list, you will see that most of the names are only that of La République citizens. You get few. I'm going through that list. I've not even gotten up to 5 Ambazonian names. And we know the amount of Ambazonian soldiers who have deserted La République and military from 17. Comrade Kenneth, what can you say about this analysis, this observation?
Yeah, Comrade Paul. When we look at the list, you'll find out that, as you rightfully said, that most of them are names of Francophones. And there is one thing that comes to mind. Why bring up that list now? Why is Betia Somo signing a list like that and sending it out to the public now? And if you look at that number, the number of those that he said are desertees, moving out of the country, if you look at those that will be running, those that are running away, it suffices to say that that the numbers, the names that are on there should be those of Francophones, because they know that Francophones sent into Amazonia, they will do their worst. They send them there, they come in there, they will do their worst. So whenever they are there, whenever they step over into our territory, there are two things. They either go back in body bags, or for fear of what may happen to them, a few of them do escape. A few of them do escape. But this time around, I'm sure whatever is happening, karma is catching up with them. They are not able to stand and tell the families that, look, probably your loved one has been killed. Probably the one you love will not be coming back home. They are hiding, turning things around. Most of the time they tell them, they are just there. Or if they're lucky enough, they tell them they are MIA, missing in action. But for a lot of the cases, just as we said, they don't want to hand in monies. They don't want to make sure that they take care of what is required of them to do to the families. They come around with lists to tell them that, we sent your child over there and he disappeared. Well, they've been to our zone. They've been there. They've been killing. They've been extorting monies. They've been stealing. They've been committing all sorts of crimes. Our people have been suffering. And it is right that a lot of them should drop in our area. And if some of them do escape, they are fortunate enough for them to escape. But what is clear is that the manipulations that Betia Somo and the rest, they are doing, they're catching up with them. They're gradually catching up with them. There is fire within their ranks in Yaoundé. Because those that thought they were going to have their way in Amazonia, they are seeing it that it's impossible for them. And questions are being asked. Questions are being asked. Is it worth it for our kids to go over there and die? What is the reason for them to go over there and die? They are unable to answer those questions. They are unable to face their population. And we pray with time, this should not run out easily it will not run out easily as they think. The fire, what is brewing out there, will catch up with them. Let it be known that those that they say have deserted. A lot of them were crushed by IEDs beyond recognition. We've seen videos of fighters because they continue. I mean, they do recruitment continuously. They continuously recruit into their ranks and recruiting some of them as young as maybe sometimes 15 years old. They recruit them into their ranks to send them over. I've seen videos of some of them coming in. I mean, when they get into Ambazonia, they get into maybe an environment. The environment is very quiet. Some of them start praying and some of them start singing. And that's when they really down on them. What are we doing here? How much do they take as salary? 50,000 to die for a state that will never care for you. It is a shame that upon what is happening, Betia Somo would not tell his people the truth. A lot of them are gone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commander Kenneth. SOS. I remember last time. You had always made this call for soldiers to desert, to drop their arms. I think in our last when we started defense briefing, you capitalized on it, SOS Zama. You had always been talking about it. And today we see a list coming out with no, virtually, I can say if we have 900 and something names, and we could only. We also got date from 2000, 2016, 2011. SOS, please, can you really tell us, can you give us the insight? Can you imagine what La Republic is going through before coming out with this manipulative list? SOS, madam, the mic is yours.
If you can remember, we had a data analysis a year or 2 years ago, by the Department of Army, that they were spending about 30 billion francs in Ambazonia fighting the war in Ambazonia. That's 30 billion francs a month. If that's a cost, if that's a true cost, because anything in Cameroon is tripled and quadrupled, if that's the cost, then you can see how much is leaving the coffers of the country. And nothing is going in because most of the taxes in Ambazonia is not being collected at 100%. CDC is not working, PAMOL is not working. All the other things that they were getting revenues from they're not generating that revenue as it was prior to the war. They don't have the money. And in order not to pay the death benefit to the families of these soldiers, that could be a cop-out from them. That could be a cop-out. But to put it in perspective, they are losing a lot of money, because if you calculate that we are blowing out the anti-tank weapon vehicle, that may be 75 million, 80, 90 million, and when you're blowing those things every day like toys, like bamboo chairs, you can tell they are hurting. They are hurting for money. They've been provided some from Turkey, some from the Arab Emirate. Those weapons are being blown around, and it's money they are losing every single day. They have to take care of those who are in hospitals, if at all they do, but a lot of the hospital bills has to be paid. The government also doesn't have that money. So what do you think is the easiest way for them to say, these people are dead, these people have deserted? If they do that, they're saving themselves a lot of money for other people to embezzle. And I bet you somewhere in the system, they will show that they've paid indemnity for these dead people in the system somewhere. Cameroon, as it is, it's always a crooked country. It's a country that never keeps to the principles and morals of accounting. So I don't doubt their motive, because that's the way they've been operating forever. You really need desalination to clean these people up. They are horrible people in terms of what they do. We see every single day over the internet how these people have hundreds and hundreds of millions of francs inside their houses, and when they are discovered, they try to burn them. that's just the nature of the Francophones. That's just their nature, and we cannot be part of that. We had decided in 2016 that we were never going to follow them to hell. They are going to hell. They are living in hell, and we don't want to be any part of that anymore. And I really want to appreciate all the effort that our soldiers are putting towards this fight. There is no return. There is no other alternative that we have. For those people who are thinking and begging and hiding behind other areas of independence, special status, it has never worked. As I said earlier, the only thing that quenches your thirst is water. A beer will not, a whiskey will not, aquacha will not, mututu will not, mbu will not. Water will quench your thirst if you are thirsty for water. And independence is what Ambazonia wants. And that's only the thing we will get. Anything else is non-negotiable.
Are you done, Doctor?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yes. I want to say, I just want to add something on it. La Republique, for real, have been crumbled. Don't have any excuse to give to families of soldiers. They cannot identify. They don't know where they are. The best way to appease this family is to tell them they have deserted because they don't want to pay insurance. They don't want to pay debt allowance. What all those, they have so much protocol, financial protocol. They don't want to pay because their economy is crumbled. So please, we are also using this medium to encourage, to advise, to tell the La République terrorist military who are in our land, please, your life is it's a game to Yaoundé. They don't care about you. They are not concerned about your welfare. They don't even want to know you are alive or dead. They just want you to be in a dead zone. Please drop your arms like your brothers. Drop your arms like your sisters. And you leave Ambazonia. It's better to be alive, hiding somewhere, than die for a 90 years old octogenarian who has given up. Better everything point than that is not my way. Now, we also got actions on the ground before we go into our major talking point. We also got an acknowledgement, even though inconsequential as he is, but he has been a critic of the interim government led by Dr. Samuel Komesako. He has been a solid critic. He has been pointing accusing finger on Dr. Sako from one topic to the other, But it was somehow honest for him to come out last week to acknowledge that Dr. Samuel Sako has a master control on the ground. That he's the one controlling action on the ground. I don't know if we can put that, if our technicians can put up that particular post on. I don't know. I will be happy if we get that post on from Barrister Tumasan. Yes. When some people are bent on destroying and they come to realize that they can no longer hide the truth, you hear them. He came and acknowledged it. So I don't know if we can get this post. This post was, I think, January 2023. Yeah. So I don't know if we can get this post up. I'll read only the conclusion of it. I don't know if the post is up. I read the post. It says, Ambazonian versus La République du Cameroun, January 2023. Ground Zero firepower from where? Dear all, Last week, we saw heavy firepower on ground zero, he calls it, and all groups reporting and basking in the glory after a soul-wrenching silence for months. But the question is, where did this firepower come from? Was it Chris Anu, as he promised to increase firepower on the ground and expand into La Republique? Was it Ayaba showing that without the various IGs, he can do the job if given some resources? Was it Marianta reminding Ambazonia that her government, even if not the jury, is de facto and performing on the ground? Was it T. We Rich Boya, Mr. Sako, showing he still has various institutions and the ability to raise serious money and deliver, even if impeached and removed from office by the Coopers? And here is his conclusion. Barrister Tumasan concluded his investigation and found that most of the firepower I get, it's just the conclusion from K, because the letter is a little bit too long, so I'm reading just the conclusion from Kemiashu. So there is concluded information. He found that the firepower was coming from Mr. Sako, and that whatever his transgression against the state of Ambazonia owes a debt to Dr. Sako. Yeah, in synopsis, I just read this as a summarized article from Kemiashu. Yeah, in synopsis, this is it on the screen. Acknowledging that the interim government, led by His Excellency Dr. Sako, controls the firepower on the ground, and there is nothing you can do about it. You just have to acknowledge it, you just have to accept it, and then you move on. Give credit to who credit is due. Give honor to whom honor is due. We know that without the interim government, okay, for example, look at the Bui warriors. They have now been reunited with the Bui Unity Warrior faction that has been causing a lot of mayhem in this revolution. They had to last week, and they have accepted to come back to the fold, to the Bui warriors. And there is no grab as Unity Warrior in Bui any longer. Anybody talking about Bui Unity Warrior is a scam, because they have come back to the fold. Major General Tok Andu has opened his arm and accepted them back into the fold. They are working now as one family under the interim government. These are examples that we have to copy. Thank you. I have to just give you, they say sometimes give credit to whom it is due. I just want to thank Barrister Tumasan for this honest observation. Even though he is as biased because of his own pride as he is, but for this honest observation, I say thank you. As we move on to the next and the most crucial aspect, thank you, Papa Oben. As we move to the last part of this show tonight, which is the Canadian, we saw it from the Foreign Ministry talking about a peace settlement or peace facilitation or what. So please, I would like you to handle this aspect. I would like you to handle this and the military, the security, the defense implication of this letter from the Canadian Foreign Ministry. Please, Dr. Zama, the mic is for you now.
Well, the Foreign Minister for Canada sent out this communique that they will mediate to have peace in Cameroon. Of course, when they say Cameroon, they're saying Northwest and Southwest as an integral part of Cameroon. We are not an integral part of Cameroon. We were never an integral part of Cameroon after independence. Cameroon had its boundary in 1960, January 1st. Those boundaries are immutable, and that's been understood under the constitutive statute of the African nations, African Unity Constitutive Assembly. The mere fact that she is interceding on behalf of Cameroon preclude them as being an honest broker to this effect. The Canadian government have a lot of investments in Cameroon, and it's in their best interest to save those investments and to be at the best outlook for their own interest. And people should understand that a mediator is a mutual condition that both parties in a dispute have to accept to have arbitration by that same mediator. One side does not choose a mediator and say, okay, I'm the referee of this match and I'm playing against you. Canon cannot come with a referee and play against Peter Bamenda. If they are playing 13 people, 11 people against 13 is not good. It's a rule that it's not going to survive. But we have to come back to a point whereby the Canadian government, as much as diverse as bilingual as Canada is a inverse mirror of Cameroon and Ambazonia. The Quebecois and the Canadians have been in and out of a very tenuous relationship. The Quebecois or Parti Quebecois in the 80s had resorted to a referendum, even though they lost, but they had the opportunity to have a referendum. In Canada, it's a de facto point by the Liberal Party, whereby nearly, if there's about out of the 23 or so prime ministers in modern times of Canadian modern history, 5 or more of them have been from Quebecois, have been from Quebec. And if you count those who are born in Quebec but grew outside of Quebec, that could be about 9 or 10 of them. So it's a large number. In 60 years, there's not been a single person from the Ambazonian section of the country in the Confederacy or Federal State of Cameroon who's been in any prominent part of the country. They've never run the country. They've never headed the country. They've never headed even prominent organizations. Even stuff like Feka Food. We have difficulties in that because of what the Francophones decide to do. The Canadian conference, which were attended by quite a few minor parties in this, or minor parties in this struggle, they decided for those people who had abandoned the fight and they were going there on their own volition, nobody sent them there, they were representing themselves. And unfortunately, we see there's a rankling between those parties who sign a memorandum of understanding for the Canadian government to intercede in this struggle. The ADF chairman, Achua Yaba, has sent out a message that the Prime Minister should retract it. We don't know the content of the signature of what they signed, but it seems like it's not in accord with what Mr. Ayaba wants, or Dr. Ayaba wants, or had signed. We don't know. We were not privy to that. But I think I want to tell Ambazonian that there should not be any worry. The minor dancers are always first on the floor, and the master dancers are always last on the floor. The IG under Dr. Sako also has the muscle power. We are the only organ in this fight that can show firepower on the ground, financial backing for our people, and a structure. We have people who have been collecting money from Ambazonians for the last 30 years, and none of them have given a single account to what they've been doing with the money. This IG, we backs earlier on, but we have met our match where we've decided, we have cleaned up our accounting principles, and everything now is in full focus. There's nothing that is not reported. There's nothing that is not accounted for. But to go back to what we are having today is a Canadian type of meeting where they select their own people who they want. It's not people who need to be there. Cameroon has always played this game of switching chairs, trying to go with the weakest link. There's nothing that's going to stop Ambazonia from gaining its independence. And if we have to betray our people, then all the thousands and thousands of people who have been displaced, the millions of people who have been displaced, those thousands that have been killed, it would have been in vain. We don't want to fight this fight another day. This is the last fight. This one is the last fight, and we as adults in this relationship within Cameroon and Ambazonia, we are not going to settle for less. We will settle for what we want. And all this firepower that we have on the ground is going to determine who stays and who goes. Ambazonia, there should not be any fear. Our president always says, shake, shake, no day. Shake, shake, no day, in the sense that we have the power, we will back it up. And they cannot make no agreement. If that was the case, Buthelezi and the South African apartheid government would have reached a consensus and agreed on. But of course, the ANC was out there. They had to deal with the ANC because the ANC was the dominant force in South Africa. That's the same case in Ambazonia. The IG under Dr. Sako is the dominant force in Ambazonia, and they know it. They can skirt around, they can dance with their skirts and dance with their pigtails, and it will not take us anywhere. It will not take them anywhere. The Dr. Sako government is going to give us results, because at the end of the day, all these steps, all these things they call, we do not have no peace. They cannot have no peace. The only time we can have a peace is to have an international mediating force that will stand between La République du Cameroon and Ambazonia, and have a genuine country or a genuine partner that's generally accepted to liberate and free Ambazonia. We cannot accept this. Even the participants to this particular Canadian thing, they are all saying different things. They were not faithful to their own citizens or to themselves. When they came out of this conference, they could barely tell exactly what they signed for. Our president decided this was not a meeting for the people of Amazonia. He was not going to take part of it in this meeting. And that's where we stand in this government. We cannot go and hanky-panky and do backside deals against our people. Our people deserve more. Our people warrant more, and we will give them more. And this government is not going to. The people of Ambazonia need a transparent process where everybody is aware of the next processes, what the agendas of these processes are. We cannot just go and somebody present something and we sign in and leave. We are better than that. We were screwed up in Fumban because we were not naive. We were trustworthy, and we were trusting of people, and we were misled. We are not going to do that. We will read and reread, verify and re-verify all the things, that every single word, and some of the words in that thing does not bode well for us as an independence-seeking people. There are some people who wanted to be federalists, independentists, special status people. They represented themselves, I would say, and not the people of Ambazonia. Thank you.
Yeah, the SOS. If we can, if I can get I see it on the screen, on my screen. You see, they are talking about a peace process. One, I've noticed the word peace process in that communique. At least three. It is issued peace process. We want peace in the northwest and in the southwest, and also have the indicated northwest and southwest. We want peace. Are we really finding? Is this war all about peace, or about a justified negotiation between two countries who before 1961 had equal status? So I don't know this logic of coming in with peace. Is it peace that the Ambazonian people have been fighting for since 2016?
Come report. Let us not get bogged down by the minutiae of all this. The peace process is, we are at war. There has to be some process where we will stop fighting, cessation of killing each other. Then we can go into other processes. But those processes can never go into place because other things have to take place before the peace process starts. There has to be an understanding, a withdrawal of troops, a peacekeeping force and all those stuff that has to be brought into before we can go into other steps in that process. It's a whole process. It's a process like you want to pound a chew, you have to go to the farm, you have to go buy cocoa, you have to come and cook it, you have to peel it, you have to pound it, you have to pull. So it's a process. This is just one aspect of that process, but it's a process that already falters in his face because it's talking to not the right people in this struggle. It's the premise of the start of this processes is not reflective of what we want. The words really have to mean something to both parties, and probably La Republique wants this is what they want. They want us to be called Northwest and Southwest as a region of their Cameroon, and we want to tell them that no, we had a boundary in 1961 when we had independence, and it's independent of La Republique du Cameroon. And this conflict is it's a failure of decolonization by the British that brought us into this mess, and we have to treat it as an international conflict rather than an intrastate conflict. This is what we have to understand and make our people understand, that we are not going to settle for less because we were an independent. I want to make people to understand that we were the first country in Africa to be granted semi-autonomy. In 1954, there was no other country in Africa. It was way before Egypt, way before Ghana, way before Morocco and all those other countries. A prime minister.
Thank you very much.
All those things were so important that we are not going to settle for less. We knew how to govern ourselves before there was the country called Cameroon. So we are not going to go in as a junior member in a country that we were senior to them. And we want our citizens to understand that we are not fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for the betterment of Ambazonians. We are fighting for the change of conditions of Ambazonians. We want to get rid of this shackle of all these gendarmes slapping our parents, misbehaving and impregnating our kids without regard. And that's what Dr. Sako and the IG is striving for. We will not rest until Ambazonia is free, and there's no way that we're going to sign for stuff that even a misinterpretation of words would be dissatisfying to our citizens.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Zaman, for that elaborate analysis. We also see Ayabacho crying foul over words, over the meanings of the word. It means, I just want to highlight this. When you see Dr. Ayabacho coming out and crying, no, withdraw that statement, and up till now, the foreign ministry has not reacted. They have not withdrawn the statement. It means it was a game from the onset. Just like what Dr. Zaman has said, they have skipped the second. They are somewhere in the third part of it talking about peace process without laying the foundation. That is why you see Dr. Ayaba. It means he went into something. He thought he went into a garden. They were carrying him to the sea. So that is it. And now let me put a little bit about the Swiss process and where La République was afraid. In the Swiss process, it was supposed to be between the interim government and La République, the government of La République, because that process was headed and led by Dr. Samuel Komesako and Team A. So it was basically the interim government and the French Cameroon government, two governments coming together to sit on a table with a third party for negotiation. These same people who are in Canada today shouting, making noise, these were the same people who fought against the Swiss process. They fought finger, hand, tooth and nail against the Swiss process. And now today, the Swiss government is proud to write that there is an agreement or a peace with groups. Please, a point of correction. We have a government. We have a government. Since 1954, we have a government. So, whatever charade, La République had always wanted to say it is a group. There are groups. La République have never wanted us to use this term with the interim government. No. So what they are doing in Canada is a charade. Please, Comrade Fombat, What can you say about what you are hearing coming out from Canada? Please, can we get your input?
Yeah, thank you. We have said it before, and we still say it continuously that there is actually nothing going on in Canada. It was a meet and greet, maybe probably exchange some few envelopes, and people are opportune to sleep in very expensive five-star hotels and drink wine, drink their champagne, maybe make some few cuddles from expenses from like public offers. That is simply some of the advantages that these people went there to benefit. Because when we had the Swiss-led process, we did not only hear or listen to statements supporting that process by world powers. We also saw documents circulating all over social media in support of this process, of the Swiss-led process. That was to tell you, even at the level of the United Nations, they endorsed the Swiss-led process. But this Canada something, I don't know whether I don't even know the right terminology for this Canada something. Even the Canadian government was unable to send out a circular, to send out a note saying that we are hosting a negotiation process. They were unable. And we can only hear by word of mouth from activists, pro La Republique, green, red, yellow, Amazonian activists, saying that there is a negotiation process going on in Canada, but backed by countries, but those countries we have never heard or seen their letter of support. I don't know if those support documents came only to them privately. And if it came to them, they would have done good for the people who are still in doubt to circulate those documents everywhere for the world to see that actually this country has supported. Because even this UK, I've just seen Brother Ayabacho tagging the federal government bureau of the UK inside his screen, which is a branch under the Commonwealth. I don't know if we are going to have a federation. It is under his tweet that F something. It's federal government bureau of UK. Is it federation? And the federal government UK has no statement out there to tell the people that actually the United Kingdom is in support. There is no statement. When we had the Swiss-led process, parliamentarians sat in parliament and raised issues. And people saw those videos. We also saw the videos. For example, in the UK, we saw the parliamentarians arguing and debating on our case in support of the process. We saw that. But you know what? These same people who are working for themselves and for their families, and they pretend to be Amazonians. They pretend to hang your flags behind them when they are making statements to address you, probably to convince you to give them more money. They will not tell you actually what is happening. And these are the same people who castigated. They slam on the Swiss-led process. They made sure that enough activists were recruited among their ranks. They made sure they work in collaboration with Amazonians to split or to make an attempt to split the interim government, create their own faction of the government, and pump the money, create activists to cause more confusion and keep the Amazonian people wanting. And the agenda, Chris Anu came out to say that made an audio, or was it on his TV? I don't even watch that his channel. I don't even know what is the Facebook channel or on his satellite channel. But I think he sent me one of those his audios about this Canada. I was not in Canada, blah blah blah. But at one point when he came out, he said that he sent a document to Canada. Why are you? You see, the man is just everywhere complicating and just contrasting himself by himself. That is, you see, when God wants to punish you, you make you lose your senses, you lose your memories. Sometimes you talk and vindicate yourself without even knowing that you are implicating yourself. is where we are. So Ambazonian people, there is nothing in Canada. And then if you look at the topic of that statement, they are talking of peace in Cameroon. What is happening in Cameroon? Can anyone tell me what is happening in Cameroon? There's nothing happening in Cameroon. Cameroonese are out there, beer, sleeping their women, running everywhere, doing their business as usual. Our people are dying in Ambazonia. If they had even used the word Cameroons, it would have even sound convincing that maybe they want to talk about Ambazonia. They didn't even add the S there. They were talking about Cameroon. And they know very well, and you see leaders that were there, the ADF, Ambazonian Governing Council, and they had not, the Canadian government or the Canadian Foreign Secretary had not mentioned anywhere that this case is between Ambazonia and Cameroon. But you hear of Ambazonian Governing Council. What are you governing? So you went to start in a meeting and you were not clear to tell the people what you want, and they bring out a public statement. You see, these are people who don't know where they belong. Probably they belong to La Republique, and they are pretending to be one of us. And they have words and messages to enthusiast, to confuse you, to brainwash you. You know, our people are so frustrated to an extent that anything that comes to the table, they are willing to embrace. They are willing to embrace. So we have a duty to keep sensitizing them, telling them the reality, and we'll keep doing that. So our people, my people, there is nothing in Canada. If you were hoping, wishing, now you have the statement. They are talking about peace. They did not even mention anywhere on that statement about justice. There was not talk about justice. There was not talk about both parties. There wasn't. There was not talk about Ambazonia or Southern Cameroon. There wasn't. They were only interested in peace in Cameroon. I don't know if those people told them that Cameroon was on fire. Cameroon, they are drinking their beer, as I said. There's life normal. Our people are dying in Ambazonia. And there is no mention about Ambazonia in that whole document. Thank you very much.
I think if I may add something to what Comrade said.
Okay.
In these meetings, when there's in every meeting, diplomatic communications are meant to be a little bit ambiguous, whereby you cannot pin the people down as to what they were saying. In those conferences, when they go, there's a common understanding what the communique after that meeting was. All these people who are coming back now and crying foul, they knew exactly what this thing was. And because they didn't understand or did not foresee what the backlash would be for them. So they are coming down pretending like they were not there. They've said they were not there. They said they didn't sign this, they didn't sign that. The Canadians are not crazy. Canada is a big country. They understand how diplomacy works. And these things sometimes it's meant to be kept hush-hush until things are at an advanced stage, then they bring it out in public. I think what I'm seeing is all the groups that were in this conference in Canada, they are beginning to see the backlash from Ambazonians. They thought they were going to go there and have a traction that they were trying to deliberate some peace for Ambazonia, but it's not catching any fire in Ambazonia. These people are beginning to realize, oops, we must have screwed up and there's no turning back. So they have to make a backlash to the Canadian Foreign Minister. I don't think she made anything uncertain. She said what they meant, and they meant what they said. And I think the Amazonians who were out there on their own volition are just eating they went and ate their cake and thought they could have it too. This is payback time, and the Amazonians are not buying any of that.
I think we got that sound and clear. Commander Kenneth, what are the defense implications on things like this when they are talking about peace while there's war going on, and the main party, the main protagonist, the main person controlling the ground is not concerned about that? What are the plans of the ANSC in the days ahead in regard to trash from Canada?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay, let me first of all say something about the talks that are going on in Canada. First of all, I think we had a Swiss process, which some of these the actors that are presently in Canada, they castigated, they talked so much against when our president was out there talking about the Swiss process. Our president made it known that certain conditions had to be met for him to sit down on the table and discuss with La Republique. Probably La Republique knew that those terms and those conditions, they were not, them. So they had to back out. When they backed out, those same people that were castigating the Swiss process, they were the ones that went over to Canada and started having backdoor meetings with the people in Canada. I think Canada did not start today. They started a while ago. And I think it is common sense for us to understand that for any meeting or any meeting that La Republique accepts and goes out there, picks certain actors to come and sit down with, is not favorable to our cause. If La Republique accepts to sit down in Canada with certain individuals, they probably know what they've convinced those individuals to come down, to sit down there and discuss with them. No matter what they're saying today, it has nothing to do with our cause. Let me repeat, if La Republique is down in Canada and they have accepted to sit down and talk with certain individuals, then those individuals are not representing Ambazonians. It would not be in line with what we all want, because from what I said, our president had stated certain conditions that were supposed to be met for him to sit down and discuss with whatever party that is out there. If La Republique is supposed to come down, those mediators are supposed to come down. We had our point. We have our point. They have this. At this point, let me go back to our defense listing. If we listen to them, they talked about that they didn't call for ceasefire, that they should, instead now, whatever is going there, they should increase the firepower on the ground. How many of them have forces on the ground? How many of them? The forces that are on the ground, just like Barrister Thomason said, they are controlled by this interim government. It's not only him. We've been saying this all along. They are being controlled by our interim government. And the days ahead, we are going to continue. We will keep up the firepower. Nothing is going to bring that. Nothing is going to stop that. This is just a tip of the iceberg that is happening right now. We have so many other, operations in stock. We are looking ahead. There will be new recruits. Those that were down, those that were seated, those that had gone, maybe they have rested for some time. They've shown interest in coming back into the ranks. They want to sit and protect. They want to fight and make sure that they fight till Buya. Our ARFs are not going to relent in any way. They are not going to leave any stone unturned. The firepower will increase from now onward. You can take that from the ANC. They are not going to leave any stone unturned. So whoever that is out there doing any negotiations, probably as our SOS said, they know, La Republique knows the real parties that they're supposed to sit down and talk with. And that is this interim government. They are the ones that control the voice on the ground. Our interim government controls the voice on the ground. Whoever that is there, they have nothing to do on the ground. Let them go drink their champagnes and do whatever they want to do over there. When the time comes, they'll go back into it. Let them take the millions from La Republique, sign whatever communiques they want, or sign whatever they want with La Republique. That is up to them. It is not up to we will never take anything from that particular conference, which has nothing. We'll never take anything from there that doesn't look into our problem, which is that of leaving this unholy union with La Republique to Cameroon. Whoever is there, a lot of them are already backing off. Why are they backing off? A lot of them are saying, I'm not there, I wasn't there, I wasn't there. Why are they saying that? Probably there are implications. Fungban Part 2. They took over. They just took it that, okay, right now, probably with the help of France. Let's not forget. We should not forget. In terms of diplomacy, France is number 2 after the US. Soft power, they are number 1 in the world. Probably they may be the ones pushing this thing, telling the Republic, or maybe they must have negotiated this thing, talk to some of those government, tell them, you know what, handle this. Let's just bring these people along and then get something out of here. Because probably they want to continue using us as their what? Their slaves. It will not happen again. Whatever is happening right now on the home front, the ANC will see to it that we increase the firepower. As I said, there will be more coming up. There will be more. Last year, we had taken our time, we have re-strategized, we have built our capacities. Right now, what we are looking forward to this year is to increase our firepower. We are bringing on our population. We are bringing on those that are in the diaspora. Support your counties, support your LGA, support your forces. That is the only way, that is the only means that will take us to Boya. We are tired of living in this particular quagmire, what we find ourselves today. Thank you, Comrade.
Yeah, you've made mention of the word Fumban, and I want to say last in our last program I was talking about what Barrister Aya Paul said. He made a statement warning a second Fumban. After we made that analysis on Saturday last week, on Monday he was convocated because they knew he already got an insight of what was going on in Canada and was like warning Ambazonians that something is coming. And to silence him, they had to convocate him on Monday. Please, fellow Ambazonians, we are not giving up. We will not be silent. The charade that is going on in Canada does not concern us. Firepower will be intensified on the ground. So please, mind yourself, mind your security. If you are going out, know you are in a war zone. Don't say places are. The war has been reignited. The interim government is in charge. The ANC have given their word. Ahead, front will be responsible. Has a different dimension. It was a joint. Hearing going on in Canada. I asked this question a few minutes ago. It's more than 24 hours that Mr. Ayaba called on the foreign minister to retrieve the statement. Has the Canada ministry, have they retrieved the statement? No. To tell you the game they are, because if it were an accord, a settlement or agreement, the government would have withdrawn that statement, and maybe the foreign ministry still maintains that same write-up, which means there is a game that you don't know. Our president, Dr. Samuel Komesako, has made an audio, I think a 9-minute audio, 9 minutes 32 seconds audio, explaining the charade in Canada. So I think we are taking more than, we're almost heading to 2 hours. I will just give a brief stop for Commander Kenneth. Commander, and our SOS will run up. Then from our president will be aired. Commander Kenneth, what I conclude? Please, 5 minutes. No, 1 minute. 1 minute, please.
Oh, no, it's okay. I might not take up 2 minutes. Just as I said earlier, we are in a situation whereby we can't. It is a fight for our very existence, our own survival. It is a fight for who we are as a people. We have been maltreated. We're treated less than slaves in a country that we came and wholeheartedly embraced. We sat down with them. We taught them with our brothers. We did everything possible to cohabitate with them. But what did they do? They have never treated us like humans. When we rose up, they shot at us, killed us. Unarmed civilians, we had to rise up. Look, I'm saying this to our ARFs and I'm addressing them. I thank those of them that have made up their minds, they've come back and they've decided to reignite the firepower. For those that are putting their lives on the line, thank you so much. For our civilians, those that are supporting, thank you so much. We're asking you people to continue giving that support to our fighters. We're asking you people to stand firm. Let not of you back down. I've said, all what you have, pick up your stick. We'll fire our way to Buea. If the Republic does not want to negotiate with us, then we will push them out of our territory. At this point, I would like to thank you, Comrade Paul. I would like to thank all the panelists, and I would like to thank the televiewers. It is a rendezvous for next week. Probably this is my closing remark. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commander Fombat. You have the mic.
Yeah, thank you very much. This closing remark for 2 minutes, or is it 30 seconds, or is it 5, or is it 30 minutes? I don't know, because actually I had a message for the international community across Ambazonians, but I'll keep that message for next week because we don't have time. I also had a talk to educate our people on this colonial music that we play in our territory. I think I will keep that for next week as well. But there is one thing here I want to draw the attention of our people. You see, this is a newspaper, Evening Standard. In this country, newspapers are free. We don't pay for newspaper because I work and I pay my taxes. When I pay my tax, I get some of these things for free. I'm not interested in showing you this newspaper. But there is a caption under here that says, U.S. hails key moments for Ukraine as allies pledge extra help. Allies are pledging extra help for Ukraine. Allies. When I say allies, we are including the United Kingdom. This is the country I am. The United Kingdom. They are pledging extra help for Ukraine. France has pledged. US itself is the Oga Kwata Kwata. So Ambazonians, let nobody fool you that you are funding a war and want to intimidate you. You have only one option to take back your country. The UK would have been behind us to support us because they put us in this mess in the first place. They are solely responsible for the casualties that our people are suffering on ground. The UK, sorry, not the US, the United Kingdom is solely responsible, but they cannot apologize because they are scared that they will pay indemnities. They will be held responsible and they will be fined in the hundreds and thousands of billions of pounds for the atrocities that La Republic has been committing, is still committing in our communities and our people. Ambazonians, you have only one responsibility: support your restoration forces. It is only one. That is the only message. This is allied countries. They are going public. They are not talking it behind, and they are not scared. So are they coming to intimidate you? When they come to intimidate you, take this newspaper to court. Ukraine is not part of UK. Ukraine is not part of US. Ukraine is not part of France. Ukraine is not part of Germany. Ukraine is not part of Italy. So what is their interest in Ukraine? Ambazonians, fund your LGAs, sponsor the war, take back what belongs to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. SOS Zama, please, the mic is yours. 1 minute.
Well, Comrade Fombat, Masa, you don't put that thing, you don't slap that thing off the park. Not true. Everybody get where they for this fight. You get to contribute the way you get to contribute. May no man not sit down for you, fool you, say, oh, they will take you to jail because you contribute. They contribute for everything for this country, for America, for Britain, for France, all over the world, for Ukraine. A bishop will say some people them among we they don't contribute for help Ukraine, but they never contribute for help Amazonia. Now just the fight that what we did it because we get a convoluted thinking of ourselves. For any man way they for one man country, one man put on like that. Any man way they overseas now one man country, because you come out for village for where we come out. Anywhere where you day, you get to make your own effort. We don't make mistakes then when this fight be start. Yes, we don't make mistakes. I'll agree with that. But we learn as we go. No man no go for war college. Some few military people there, therefore among them, they go war college for fight war. Many of us didn't. So we come for now. As we learn to go, we don't progress. We start now, we leave them for tree, branches for tree. Now we make we own thing away, it give trouble for these people. You don't see all this year, they don't go for recruitment like 10 times. If you imagine, say 10 times, they recruit 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 10 times. They don't recruit more than 100,000 people. But who said they? Now, there is also run. They run and we kill some of them. So more I notice say may when I know watch CRTV made it tell when I lie say this water and or watch politicians the way they don't go chop their money for you on the council and say the water and this world is still starting to start. We don't just woke up. We don't just woke up for now for sleep. We don't the why we hide them. La Republic go and it go because we want them to go. If they don't want to go, they will go the way where all man they go. Because we didn't have for war. For war, either you surrender, you run with your life, or you give your life for your country where you know they. And the country where they did it, no country say way better. Sometimes it's better for them to die safe because we take them out of their misery. So when I want to for back home, when I don't tell when I say when I talk when I picking them and for one man country here, make them contribute for this fight. Major they like their own contribution for quarter. Go keep quarter safe. Because now for when I want they come for quarter, they can't kill now for quarter. If picking the day where they fit defend quarter, a kelebe they no go come for quarter. So as we did so, with the one tank when I want to watch this show as we talk, we bring now information for now for keep una safe, for tell una more support with people, for tell una more stand behind each other. But as I always talk, where when I hear gunfire, the best place where you did now will go down for floor. When you did for floor, you be safe. After the gunfire done pass, if you stand up for us and say, now wait, no stand for window, they try to look for time for take movie or time for take video. Because I saw people that they die, plenty of people that don't die like that. I just want to thank everybody waiting there for this panel today. I want to thank all our people that watch around the world. I want to say good night.
Thank you very much, SOS. We thank our technicians, Pastor Commando, Papa Oben, we thank you very much. We thank our televiewers. We thank you for always being there with us. We thank you for sharing. Please continue to share on YouTube, on Facebook. Please, it is very important. Above all, we thank our president for his steadfastness, Dr. Samuel Komesako, for his focus. We thank all his cabinet, Vice President Eric Ate, for his relentless effort to see that we march straight to Buea. Fellow Ambazonians, I want to thank you for joining me in the program tonight. I'll be leaving you with the audio from the president making some clearance on the Canadian charade. Thank you, Papa Oben. Thank you, Papa Commando. Thank you, Papa Paddy. I know you are on break. We are waiting to see you back on the show. So we'll leave you with the audio from the president. Thank you. God bless you. Tiboya, shake no day.
An old friend of theirs in trouble, but it takes more than the desire to help to be a mediator. A mediator is not self-elected, it's not self-imposed, it's not imposed by one of the parties. He must be elected by both parties in a conflict. So, if I can remember well, when the government of Canada contacted me about these informal talks in Canada, it was made clear that Canada was not mediators, that they were just convening a meeting at the behest of John Gute. So, and that the meeting they are convening, to the best of their knowledge, the government of Cameroon is not going to be represented. So I said, that sounds like a bridge to nowhere. That sounds like a waste of time. So I won't be involved. I said, when they cross these two thresholds, when the government of La Republique decide to come over, then I, representing the government of Ambazonia, will send a representative to any table. And number two, when we find a mediator, when Canada changes its position as mediator to fulfill the responsibilities expected of Canada as a mediator, to provide the various guarantees that mediators provide, then I will reconsider my position. If Canada has decided to change their position from a convener to a mediator, I salute their goodwill to do something for their old friend. But it would take more than that proclamation on a website to be a mediator. And the purported agreement or whoever authorizing them to become mediators by setting stakeholders, some of which are not up to 1% of Ambazonia can remember who they are, or what the acronym means at all. Faceless people, if such a letter was written to them, or such an agreement was reached, Ambazonians don't have the copies. Ambazonians don't know which are the actors. They only see umbrella titles and names as those involved in the Canada charade. Is Canada not already killing the process before it begins? Because you are discrediting the process. You are depriving it of the trust and the integrity that it's supposed to have. Because mediation cannot succeed when the parties don't trust the process. And when you act not to make them trust the process, when you cast so much cloud around it, when you decide to put aside the principles of the conflict on the table, and you make proclamations as if everybody's involved, it sounds like a trick to help La République who don't want to solve this problem. Yes, Canada should not be helping La République who don't want to solve this problem. By organizing a bridge to nowhere, by organizing a facade that looks like something is being done, meanwhile nothing is happening, by creating the false impression out there that there is a process when there's no process, because La République is not on the table. They were not even on the table. No government official has been to Canada to even endorse those things that were done in the dark as representative of what the government of Cameroon wanted. Neither was the government of Ambazonia there. And I want to use this opportunity to make it clear that the interim government was not part of those meetings in Canada. So, for the purported agreement mentioning names and including the interim government, that they are those that have endorsed Canada as mediator. I don't even know when Canada opted to be a mediator. I was not informed. That is a misrepresentation. Yes. A government is not a name. It's a set of it's an authority with responsibilities. It's not a name. So anyone who dissented and finds himself somewhere in a jail or somewhere will sit there and say it's a government, and you give him the opportunity to be known as government. No. We know who you are helping when you do that. That is killing the process before it begins. The number one quality of a mediator is impartiality. You must show by every stretch that you are impartial, that you are there to just bring the two parties together, that you can be trusted by both sides to serve as a mediator, as a go-between for this problem to be resolved. But Canada, either they don't know what mediation looks like, or they are playing the card like and making this look like an instrumentalized process to bring a certain outcome that they are hired by La République to bring. This is not good. The mediator must know that the parties to any conflict are not there by themselves. They are there to represent the people who are involved in the war. And if they are not representing those people. They are wasting their time in whatever they are doing. So it is incumbent on those who represent parties in a conflict on the table to be able to relate to the people, to be able to get the people to trust in the process, that you cannot be acting this way and you want to be trusted. You cannot become a mediator by just simply making a proclamation. The proclamation of the mediator comes at the end, when both sides, the principals on the both sides of the conflict are involved in the process. Then the mediator can make such a statement and make it official. Now it sounds like a plan to avoid the principal on the Amazonian side and then go ahead with names and titles without any impact in the conflict, and then arrive at any solution and ram it down the throats of Amazonians. And you know that it will not work, right? You know that it's a bridge to nowhere. You know that it's dead on arrival, right? But why do you engage in a process when you already know that it is a failure? Unless for you, failure is success. That means for La République, a failure of this process of negotiation is a victory for La République, because they don't want it to be solved in the first place. They want to kill their way to normalcy. So when you are trying to do things as if you are helping La République for that outcome, with that outcome, so that they can have any justification that they have tried and failed and continue to fight as they are doing right now, then this is not good. Let me tell Amazonians, when we find a mediator that we will endorse, Amazonia will know, not from a website, not from anybody, but from the interim government. That you can be assured. We are not going to be co-opted into any process. We are going to get involved into a process that meets the minimum requirement of a mediated process.
Basic training. New cadets must rappel down a 25-foot cliff face.
Lean back. Oh, we're good.
Then a 75-foot wall.
See what's coming up?
Oh, hell.
Jump!
Hell yeah!
The United States Military Academy in West Point, New York, is the #1 military academy in the U.S., where 120,000 of the nation's top students and soldiers apply each year. Only 10% get in, and new cadet Jabril Williams is one of them.
I'm excited. I'm going to attack it with as much enthusiasm and intensity as I can.
But before the start of school, Williams and his fellow cadets must complete
closer. It looks like the president of Cameroon, Paul Biya, is suffering from memory loss. The man was at the US-Africa Summit last month, and he had no idea where he was or why he was there. I think he has dementia, and it happens to the best of us. Nobody is making fun of him. He will be 90 next month. He has lived a long life. Nobody is making fun of his health challenges. But those who surround the man clearly don't have the fear of God. I don't think they really care about the man. Otherwise, he would have stepped down a long time ago. The whole world doesn't need to see him being embarrassed. He's embarrassing himself and Cameroon on a world platform. It shouldn't be.
Pourquoi je suis en vedette? C'est qui tous ces gens qui sont là? demandé ça. Est-ce qu'il y a des gens importants là?
Les ministres qui sont là. Le président Kagame a parlé, il est parti, introduit. Le monsieur vous a introduit. Il y avait un monsieur de qui vous a introduit.
Je dois parler maintenant.
Vous restez assis, parlez assis. Vous pouvez parler assis, étant assis.
Ici?
Oui.
Pourquoi?
I mean, it's so sad. The man just sat there, he farted, he kept looking at the pamphlet in his hand for minutes. That is supposed to be his speech. Then he farted again in public. He put down his pamphlet. His aide came back to prompt him to speak.
Ici? Oui. Pourquoi? C'est moi. Il n'y a personne pour conduire les travaux.
This man has a wife. Chantel Bia, the woman with the biggest hair, always with the biggest wig. 52-year-old Chantel Bia. What were you looking at? You would think that the bigger the wig, the more brain somebody would have. You would think this woman would have the fear of God. Hey, Berolong. This woman is just using this man. And what happened to his children? We have talked about his children in the past. Is there not one of you that has the fear of God? You see your father like this. You cannot do family meeting. Until this is not right. You keep putting him out like that. Haba,